Record Store Day 2024 is coming up on April the 20th. Wait, a 420 Record Store Day? Sweet. Anyway, that doesn't matter. What does matter is that Record Store Day is coming up soon, and there are a ton of awesome rock releases that are going to be worth lining up for, including Noel Gallagher, Collective Soul, the Beatles, Pearl Jam, and more. They're all releasing that sweet exclusive vinyl, so let's break it all down. Hey everybody, it's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the Rock Squad channel. So Record Store Day 2024 is coming up very soon on April the 20th. And this week, all the bands and artists participating announced their releases. And since reading the RSD website is sometimes like reading an eye chart, I figure I'd do all the work for you and run down some of the big rock releases coming out this year, so let's do this. Quick disclaimer, I got my list of releases from the Record Store Day US website, so it may vary depending on where you are in the world. They have different release lists for the US, UK, and Canada, so just so you know. So the big release for me this year, and I'm sure for a lot of people who watch this channel, is Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds and Magic Secrets No. 2. So he released Magic Secrets No. 1 back in 2022, which at the time featured two new demos that he released, which ended up on Council Skies. We're going to get there in the end and trying to find a world that's been and gone part 1. You know, we're still waiting on part 2 here, Noel. So this year he's packaging the two new demos that he released back in January in a little while, and his Joy Division cover, Love Will Tear Us Apart, on an exclusive 7-inch vinyl with artwork from his son Donovan, which is really cool. And that's similar to what he did back in 2022 with Magic Secrets No. 1. His son Donovan did the artwork for that. I picked that up on Record Store Day a couple of years ago. I'm not usually the type to line up for Record Store Day, but if Noel Gallagher or anything Oasis related is there, I kind of got to do it. I got to get this in some fashion. I got to get Magic Secrets No. 2, and I'm sure you do too. Also on Record Store Day this year, Pearl Jam are releasing an exclusive version of their album Dark Matter, which drops the day before Record Store Day on April the 19th. This one's an exclusive yellow and black ghostly LP colorway, which looks really cool actually. I'm always astonished at how many vinyl variations they can come up with these days. But you know what? That's what RSD is all about. It's all about those cool colors, man. And Blur are releasing a 30th anniversary Zoetrope edition of their classic album Park Life. Park Life! Okay. Zoetrope versions of albums are all the rage these days because it looks like your turntable is coming to life. It's pretty trippy. The new Liam Gallagher and John Squire album has a Zoetrope edition that looks really cool, but if you need another version of Park Life to add to your Blur collection, then here you go. Park Life! Collective Soul are releasing a 25th anniversary edition of their album Dosage, which is an RSD first release, so it'll be up for wider release later, but this will be your first chance to grab this anniversary edition. And Dosage was a really good Collective Soul record. It had some good songs on there. It had Heavy on there and Run, which were huge singles for the band at the time, so if you're a fan of Collective Soul, this is definitely worth a pickup. Slipknot's Corey Taylor is releasing CMF2B, or Not To Be, on limited edition Candy Floss color vinyl. That's not very Slipknot. That's not very metal. Candy Floss color vinyl. But this one includes B-sides from his most recent record, CMF2, which I reviewed here on the channel, and I'll link that up for you here. And the cover for this release is really, really cool. Obviously, a little bit of a take on the classic Paul McCartney and Wings album Band on the Run. If you're a Corey Taylor fan or a Slipknot fan, this is definitely for you. And it's actually really cool when bands do this. I love when they gather up all their B-sides and all their different tracks, extra tracks that they put on different releases, and then compile them all together and put them in one place with their fans. Filter are releasing a best of compilation, another RSD first, called The Very Best Things, 1995 to 2008, which features some of the band's biggest hits, including Hey Man, Nice Shot, Welcome to the Fold, which is one of my favorite Filter songs, Take a Picture, and The Best Things, and lots more. Again, this is an RSD first, so it's going to be available for wider release later this year, but this is your first chance to grab this and prove that you're a bigger Filter fan than all the others. This one looks really cool. The Cranberries are releasing Bury the Hatchet, the Complete Sessions, which features the original album plus a handful of bonus studio tracks. To me, this is really worth it if you're a Cranberries fan because it features new studio material, and that's something that a lot of RSD releases really lack, is featuring actual new or unreleased material. A lot of the stuff is albums that you already have or live versions of albums, but this one is really, really cool. It's an RSD first, so it'll be available later, but I personally think this is really worth lining up for if you're a Cranberries fan. I'm not a huge Cranberries fan, but I think this is really cool to have all of these new tracks or older tracks put into one place. The Hives are releasing Lex Hives and Live from Terminal 5, which is a double release of their 2012 album, which I really love. It's got a great song on there called Wait a Minute, and a live show at New York's iconic Terminal 5 venue. This is the first time they've released this album on vinyl, and it's limited to 2,000 copies, so you better hop on this one if you love the Hives. And the Rolling Stones are releasing a new live record, Live at Racket NYC, another live record from New York, which features a performance from the band back in October 2023, so very recent. This was previously only available on the 2-disc version of their latest album, Hackney Diamonds, but now you can get it on glorious, exclusive 180-gram heavyweight vinyl. That just sounds so delicious. And for the Beatles fans out there, there are going to be some cool Beatles and solo Beatles releases coming out for Record Store Day this year, so let's check those out. And Apple Records are releasing a limited edition Beatles 3-inch turntable with a set of 3-inch records, very cute, from when they came to America in 1964, including their big hits, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Till There Was You, She Loves You, and I Saw Her Standing There. Each record comes with an outer sleeve and an exclusive carrying case, which is really neat. This is actually very cool. Not something I would necessarily line up for myself, but like I was saying, at least it's something different. A lot of Record Store Day releases can be a little bit lazy because they tend to be albums that we've already heard or live albums that we've already heard with a colored vinyl. This is definitely something only hardcore Beatles fans would be collecting, but at least it's something different. It's very much in the vein of something that somebody would have back when the Beatles hit America in 1964. George Harrison's Dark Horse Records has 2 releases coming out on Record Store Day this year of his first 2 experimental solo records from the late 60s, Electronic Sound and Wonderwall Music, both on Zoetrope Picture Disc. This is definitely a good pickup if you want to get stoned, listen to some trippy George Harrison solo music on vinyl, and then watch the Zoetrope on your turntable. It would be super trippy. Serious applicants only. On the John Lennon side of things, his label is releasing a Mind Games EP featuring new ultimate mixes and alternate mixes of tracks from his classic album Mind Games, which are part of the ultimate edition of the album, which is going to be coming out later this year. Like most Beatles and Beatles solo reissues this year, this is really only for hardcore Beatles fans who really have to have every release in the solo discography and the Beatles discography. But there are some versions on here that are definitely worth checking out. I've never really heard any of the ultimate mixes that John Lennon's label has done on his records, but maybe this will be the first time. But you know who's still releasing new music? Ringo Starr. He's got a new EP coming out produced by Linda Perry called Crooked Boy, featuring 4 brand new tracks. This one looks like it's coming out on some sort of gray/black splatter vinyl, and it's new music from Ringo. He's been on a roll lately with a series of new EPs over the last couple of years, so it's really still awesome to see Mr. Starr making new music. And those are just the taste of some of the Record Store Day releases that are coming out for 2024. Again, it's happening on April 20th. It's going to be a big day for a lot of music fans to go out and collect awesome vinyl from their favorite bands and artists. And I can't ever complain with Record Store Day because you know what? People are going out and supporting music, buying music, and that's what we need to be doing, supporting artists, supporting bands by buying their music on physical media. I'm old school like that, but let me know which Record Store Day releases you're looking forward to the most in the comments below. Make sure to like this video if you like this video. Make sure to subscribe to us here on the Rock Squad channel if you love to rock out as much as we do, and make sure to follow us on social media on Instagram and TikTok at Rock Squad Pod. But I'll see you guys again for another video here on the Rock Squad channel. Until then, rock on, everybody.